Yes.
Okay. Computers closed, please. Stuff out of hands, eyes up here. Let's get started. You don't need your sticky note or writing utensil yet. All right, so September 10th, Thursday. Here we go for language arts. Our agenda for today. We are going to do something called a quick check. I do it all the time. I'll tell you about it in a second. Basically, it's just to see what you remember about a previous lesson. After we are done with our quick check, we are going to review the answers from yesterday's assignment. We're all going to pull our assignment back up. If I need to return them to you, I will right before we go. And you're going to check and make sure that you typed in the correct definitions yesterday, so that when we're done reviewing the answers, we're going to have a 5 elements quiz. Now it says quiz. It's not a pop quiz. It's not a closed note quiz. It's basically a 5 elements assignment that you're going to work on by yourself. It's worth 30 points, and it will go in the grade book, but it is open note. So what that means is, while you are working on the assignment, you should be able to have your note tabs open and go and look at your notes from yesterday to help you answer the questions. Does that make sense to everyone? When you are done with that, I'm trying to give you as much time as you need for that because it's going to be our second grade in the grade book. When you are done with that, then you will have some time to read. And that's all our focus is for today. Any questions about that? So anytime I introduce something new in this class, like yesterday, they were the 5 elements of a story, we will spend time practicing it together as a whole class. Hi, Bridget. Thank you. This is the second computer, but he's had delivered today. Oh. But it's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Anyway, so whenever something is introduced in here, I like to practice it as a whole class, let you work with a partner, and then ask you to do it on your own. Lots of times the practice may last a week or two, but with something as simple as the 5 elements of a story, I think one day of practicing is plenty for you to do a good job on your own today. Okay, let's talk about our objectives. So, easy peasy. I want you to know, we are continuing to know the 5 elements of a story. I want you to understand that in order to comprehend fiction, a reader must notice and think about those 5 elements. And I want you to be able to define and recognize the 5 elements of a story. Okay, we'll see how close of attention you just paid to that objectives. Without talking and without looking at anything, please grab your sticky note. Write your name on it, up at the top. So at home learners, this is where you would grab your scratch paper.
This is Dawn.
Yes.
I never grabbed it.
I thought I put it on all the spots. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Write your name on it? Okay. Now, listen really quickly. Without talking, without looking at anyone else's, this is your job. You are going to list the 5 elements of a short story that we learned yesterday. Don't shout anything out. If you cannot remember all of them, list the ones you can. Then, wait, don't start listing yet. Look, look. Then you are going to come and park it, okay? Our parking lot is right here. So these cabinets are our parking lot, not up here or down here. It's right on one of these cabinets. So as soon as you're done listing, come park it, have a seat, and read again. When everyone's done, we'll go over the answers. Go for it. Eyes on your own paper. Can you remember the 5 elements of a story that we learned yesterday? So at home learners, test yourself.
Do they need to be big or can I show them?
Nope. They need to be big. We'll go park them. Keep your eyes on yours. No turning around and looking at the parking lot. Do your best. Think. We watched that video twice. You had your note page in front of you. They were all 5 listed. What are the 5 elements of a story? Good, Elizabeth. Thanks, Ruth.
You know, good, Audrey.
Park it and then read. Make an educated guess if you're stuck and can't remember. Still thinking? Totally looks like a ninja. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. Like my dad says, if you don't know by now, you ain't going to remember. 30 more seconds. See what you can get written and park it, please. James, reading when you're done. Thank you. Holy moly. 10 seconds. You have it marked. Thank you. Okay, at-home learners, wrap it up. We're going to go over the answers in just a second. You can test yourself. All right, anyone who hasn't parked, please park. We all good to go? All right. All right, you can go ahead and put your books down. Let's talk about some of you wrote. Oh, yeah. So some of you couldn't think of the words, but you remembered the definition. That's not too bad. All right, I'm going to slowly peel them back and show you. Settings, the first one. Okay, good. When and where a story takes place, right? Okay. Plot is the next one, and some of you wrote the action or the events. So remember, plot is the sequence of events. So if someone asks you what happened in a story, they're essentially asking for the plot. First this, then that happened, then this happened. Character. So characters are the people experiencing the action. People, animals, whatever. Conflict. Several of you wrote problem. That is correct. Conflict is the problem or the struggle that a character faces in a plot. And then the final one is theme. The message, remember? So if you actually look at the word theme, it's the beginning of message. So you can see the message, theme. So it's the lesson, the message, the moral, all of that good stuff. All right, so I want to review these with you and make sure your notes are correct. I want to make sure our notes are up and ready to go for our quiz. So if you will go ahead and get on Google Classroom. And here's what I want you to tell me. If you turned those in yesterday, it says those are due today. And they're ungraded. Then the activity you did yesterday is ungraded. If you turned them in, you can unsubmit them. But I want to know if you have access to look at them even after you've turned them in.
Yeah.
So that's all. I want you to unsubmit them, though, if you've turned them in, because if you typed anything incorrect in the notes, I want you to be able to change it. So let me show you. So we're in Google Classroom. When you go here, you should see 5 elements of a story on the left. Don't open the quiz. Don't open the quiz. Don't open the quiz. 5 elements of a story. Who said that? Close it. I do not want the quiz open right now. So this is what you should have open, your 5 elements notes. If you've already turned them in, please unsubmit them so that you can change your definitions in case you have some things you need to add or fix. So go back to Google Classroom and unsubmit, yeah? Then you can go ahead and zoom in to that 100% so that you can actually see what we're going over. And we're going to start on the note page. Oh, Jesus. If it ever does that, I can just type in Google Classroom up here. Give it a second to load. Yes. Did you submit them already? If not, I'll go return it to you. There you go. Sometimes you just have to hit refresh. All right, I'm going to give you a few minutes. I want you to be looking at, once you get there, this page. We're going to pay attention to this column right here. Is everyone there? At-home learners, are you there? You good? Oh, good. Roger? Okay, who's not there? We set? Okay, so we're going to start with setting. I want you to look at your definition. We did this one together. So when I ask for a setting definition as a teacher, I want to know that it is where and when a story takes place. So if you do not have that written, you need to type that in. If you just have where and when, James, headphones, bye-bye. Thank you. If you have where and when, you need to be sure you put where and when a story takes place. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is plot. I don't know if you will have this one correctly because the lyrics did not do a great job. So the sequence of events that happen in a story, and then in parentheses, you need the action. The action will get you ish like half points, but I really want to know that the plot is the sequence of events. Sequence means this happens because of this. It's like the cause and effect, the pendulum swinging. Yes. Oh, that's not a question. Yes. These computers are going to be the devil. Always something with these dumb things. Oh, well, it's open right here. Oh, but you want to unsubmit it. Yes, Sky?
Can you like make the thing bigger? Yeah. Oh, you can.
Like zoom in?
Yeah.
Totally, yeah. What do you mean? Like make the font bigger?
Well, you.
Oh, you can't see that?
No, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I will. How's that?
Yeah, thank you. Y'all can't see?
Sorry.
I'm blind. So.
All right, so plot. Be sure you are getting it typed in. When I say your quiz, thank you, is open note. Don't you think it's really important to make sure your notes are correct? So be sure you take a look at that. Okay, it just unsubmitted for you. Hopefully it will open now. Okay.
I gotta open it again because I had it unsubmitted.
Okay, once we have moved past plot, I'll leave these two up. Characters, this one should be easy. People or things, I put or things in parentheses because you know anything can be a character. Anything that is personified, to personify something means to give it human qualities, can be a character. So the people or things that carry out the action. Yes, ma'am.
Can we, because what I did for the definition is characters are the people or animals who carry out the action.
That's fine, but we need to be sure that we know it's not just animals. Because, you know, like a pin could be a character, right? You know, a toaster. I went ahead and added that carry out the action in the story. I want you to remember to keep putting that in the story. I'm not super worried about your examples. That was just for practice. That's why we're just focusing on the gray portion. Okay, you got plot and characters?
No, I haven't.
All right, up, let's go. I want to give you 30 minutes for your quiz, and that's in 2 minutes. So Everyone has plot though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to squish plot down. I'll keep characters there. Conflict. Conflict is a dramatic struggle. So, a struggle in the plot that the characters experience. In parentheses, James, you need to know that it can be internal. Please check your plot definition, bud. So if your plot definition doesn't look like that, fix it, please. We're going to spend a ton of time talking about conflict. It's one of my favorite things to talk about and analyze in a story. Conflict makes the world go round. Human nature. Okay, can I squish characters? Everyone got characters? Maybe. And finally, theme, and then conflict's still there. The meaning, message, or main idea of the story. I don't love saying main idea because to me, main idea feels like nonfiction, like the main idea of an article. But a lot of people do define theme like that. But for me, I will always say the meaning or the message. Just like yesterday with prom night, you can kind of think that the theme of that story is to look past your fears. Don't let your anxieties control you, things like that. What we could learn from Carlos as he sat in his car freaking out, not going to get his date. And she's like, where's my cute date?
There's something pretty weird to post on Instagram.
I don't know. People post some pretty cray stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not done.
I'm not going to take it down. I'm going to give you one more second. Don't close this tab. Leave this tab open. I have tried and tried. I'm hoping I did it correctly to create your quiz so that your Chromebook is not in locked mode. So while you are taking your quiz, you should be able to come back to this tab if you need to remind yourself. You can look at any of the slides in this slideshow to help you answer the questions in the quiz. All right, I need to go over the quiz and y'all aren't going to have time to finish it.
Next slide. Or am I gonna do it this way?
Okay, you ready?
I'll tell you. Where?
You ready, Michaela? Okay, okay, ready? No pressure, no pressure. Actually, all the pressure. Yeah, all right, leave that tab open. Eyes up here, though. Eyes up here. So in a second, you are going to go back to Google Classroom, and you are going to open this quiz. It looks exactly like this. Do not do it yet. Hands off your computers, Declan. Yes, just set like this. Eyes. Here is how the quiz works. It will automatically record your email and who you are, so you don't have to worry about that. As you scroll through here, it is going to ask you questions about the 5 elements. There are 15 questions. Each question is worth 2 points. Okay? As you go down through here, when you get towards the last questions, it gives you a selection to read, and then it asks you about that selection. If you can't see this, all you need to do is go here and just zoom in on your Google Explorer like that, okay? So I don't know how big those images will show up on your little bitty Chromebook, so if you need to zoom, just do that. When you get to the bottom, you'll see the last question is 15. Be sure you check your answers. Eyes up here still. On touch screens, if you are using the screen to scroll, sometimes kids will select their answer and then use the screen to scroll and accidentally change their answer. Be careful. My suggestion is to use your arrow keys to scroll instead of using the screen. That's just my suggestion. Because once you turn it in, if you've missed one and you said, but wait, I had that marked as C, Miss Dawson, it changed it to D, I'm going to say, that's a bummer. So be careful when you scroll and check your answers before you submit. Once you are finished and you submit, your submit button will be at the bottom. Then you may read. Are there any questions? This is solo work. You're not helping partners. You're not talking to each other. I want to see what you can figure out about the 5 elements of a story. Yes, Addie? Nope. No music on this. I'll play my music. When we need to focus, we're not going to open our music, okay? All right, let's get started. Remember, you can use your notes. Go ahead and go to Google Classroom and open your quiz, and we will get to work. At-home learners, do you have any questions before I mute myself to turn on music?
Not at all.
All right. Jasmine, Jocelyn, you good?
Yeah.
Okay.